Hello everyone, welcome back to Spiritual Growth Tarot. I'm Denise and this reading is for January 7th, 2021, which is Thursday. And as usual, I am looking for a message that will help us grow our souls, as well as something for the day. Okay, so for the theme we have the Seven of Swords reversed. Oh, and I'm sorry, I forgot to tell you, I am using, here we go, this Light Seers Tarot by Chris-Anne. Okay, and so, Seven of Swords reversed, Three of Cups, and the Nine of Wands. Okay, so with the Seven of Swords reversed as being the theme, well, that puts us in that realm of starting over. You know, it can be starting fresh, can definitely be starting fresh, especially if you've worked really hard. It can be the place where you're in, you've been working so hard and you're persevering and you're just doing your best to get the job done. This card is all about courage and resilience, most of all. Sometimes it can bring us into feeling a little bit like, we're just in this battle that won't ever end. So combining that with the Seven of Swords reversed, I think the message here is just to know that it's a step-by-step process and you can always start fresh with every new step. And I know how challenging that can be when you're exhausted. So I think the Three of Cups is here to tell us that it's always about balancing out the work and the play. Because this card's a lot of work. And this card is needing to break it down into smaller steps and keep plugging along, but balance out the day with some play. I think this might be for, people who have been working overtime and trying to, sometimes make ends meet or accomplish what needs to be accomplished. And now, here we are with a new year, and I don't know if you're like me, I'm already thinking about all the stuff I have to do to get my taxes ready. It can be like that. So I have to remind myself, wait, I don't have to work 12 hours a day. Some days I don't even have to work 8 hours a day. It's good to have those days when you don't. And it's good to have those days when you do absolutely nothing. That can be really, really important. So some other times when the Seven of Swords comes up reversed, it can be that something from the past has suddenly, brought itself forward into the present. And coupled with these cards, it's like, oh no, not again. And it could have to do with a friendship with the Three of Cups. It could have to do with, a circle of friends. It could have to do with some way that you want to celebrate and, some kind of reunion. This is a very happy, joyful card. And it's about, like I said, all types of friendships and celebrations. But what if this combo speaks to how we're always having to dig and find all the little things that keep us from feeling our joy? What if this card with the Seven of Swords, because the sevens, I always look at the sevens as being decision points, and with the swords, we're in that realm, of course, of thoughts and words and how we communicate, how we think, how we process information in our brains. So what if we have a false belief spinning around that thinks, oh my goodness, I'll never be done. It's just so much work. And then you end up in a place where you're kind of like resisting the natural process. And the natural process is to find a piece to work on, What is the false belief? Question it from all different angles. Feel the pain that's coming up around it, or the pain that it's caused in the past. And then to, have that courage to look for it, but then to also give yourself breaks. Absolutely give yourself breaks. You're not running away from responsibilities, which is sometimes the meaning of this card reversed, but you're not running away from self-responsibility when you've been working this hard. If I had other cards around this, I would, like let's say the Three of Cups was reversed, and let's say the Eight of Cups was here, then I would say, you're walking away from self-responsibility and maybe partying too much, or, that would be more along those lines. But in this particular combination, these two cards, this is the theme, and these two cards are definitely influencing the theme. It gives us more information about the theme. So again, with the Seven of Wands, you're trying to find out what works. You're trying to figure out, the decision point has to do with how much work will it take to get to the end? And is it going to bring me the joy that I want? So that's the question. And I, of course, cannot answer it yet because it's going to be a different answer for each one of us. That's the way spiritual law works. There's never a hard and fast rule. The answer can be one thing one time and one thing another. It all depends on the situation and the timing and the people, and what would have been the right way to go at one time will be the opposite way, the wrong way to go this time. So you're going to have to, of course, feel into it. If you're absolutely stuck, of course, I do personal process sessions and readings, and, we can combine the two. It's my favorite thing in the world to do, besides hang out with my family. But, well, then again, I like both equally. And hanging out in nature. But hanging out with friends, family, nature, and helping people heal their souls, that's my thing. That's just who I am. So within that framework of going back and grabbing something that was left off, this can be a very shamanic card. This can be, and we have all the feathers here. Instead of swords, we have feathers, which can be messages. And it's like under the light of the moon, like this guy's trying to get, is he trying to get away with something? Or is there just some kind of, snafu kind of going on? Like, something that's not right. It's usually about something that's not right. But when it's reversed, well, and then also, too, to remember, of course, that all the sevens are about decisions. So there's some decision. Maybe something was left behind because you just couldn't take everything with you when you're trying to do the deeper soul work. You couldn't get to all of it at once because it's in a layering type of a process. It's a spiraling in process where you circle in, and it's like, the layers of an onion peel or any other, vegetable or anything else you want to think of that has layers and layers. You can't just go straight for the core. You have to take it one at a time because that's the step-by-step process. So there's no reason to defend against that. There's no reason at all to give up the actual, necessity that needs to happen for the Nine of Wands is to persevere. It has, it's like that unflappable card. It has that quality of just, keeping on, keeping on, keeping on. It's your determination that will get you through anything. And it it can be tiring, and it can cause you to go back inside and figure out, well, maybe there's an easier way. But then again, when we're doing like the deeper relationship and soul work, The right way is always just to go a little bit at a time and persevere. And I think that that's one of the other major messages besides, taking time, making the decision to take time to play will allow you that, it will afford that, life force. It will afford that energy that you need to go back and deal with whatever else has been left behind, whatever, like new start that you need. And then other times, because we're in the area of relationships here, and we're in the area of work and perseverance, sometimes this can be that you're friends with somebody and there's something that you need to tell them, and it will help you feel better if you're honest with them. Sometimes it's about, two friends holding space for the third one to find something deeper within, or to, maybe one person needs to say they're sorry to the other one, or the other two, or maybe two people. Let's say two people were like kind of gossiping, and then they decided, wait a minute, this isn't cool. Let's go to her and ask her, what's going on, because we don't need to talk about her behind our backs. It can be that. So, and knowing that, anytime that we open up to each other and we come forward in the spirit of communication, as long as we're, as long as the intention is pure, as long as the intention is to love, as long as the intention is to have a deeper relationship and share, more of our hearts with each other, then that is what it's all about. That's what we're meant to do. That's the true meaning of communication, is coming from the place of finding every little thing that you need to communicate with your friends in order to become more close. And sometimes you have to risk, being real and revealing yourself in order to have that greater abundance of love that comes through. Because this card, one of the primary keywords of the Three of Cups is abundance. But it's also about, celebration and people coming together in community and, two or more people. So that's beautiful. So don't let the Seven of Swords reversed, bother you too much, because at the worst, it is in this combination. At the worst, it is that somebody within the group is a liar, and you're feeling like you have to defend yourself against them. But maybe the key with that is to question them about, is it really true? And it's okay if you did lie, because, I love you anyway. It can be that. People only lie when they're, usually, now in close friendships, most people only lie when they're afraid of being seen as less than, or they lie because they're, it's always about fear. And it's usually fear of judgment and fear of being rejected. Rejection is one of the most painful things for humans to go through, and we have all gone through it. And I'm sure we'll go through it more. It might be the thing that, that happens, throughout, every human being's lifetime. It's just one of those things. But the key is, when it comes to rejection, is to not reject yourself. Don't get all defensive because maybe you weren't included in this group, even though you wanted this fresh start. Don't get defensive, but be with yourself. If you're feeling rejected, feel those feelings. Just don't reject yourself. Don't reject your love. Don't try to, coast above it. That's that would be like spiritual bypassing. That doesn't help anything. Feel the pain when it comes, but at some point, you're just going to stop taking things so personally. And that's a natural part of being human, is that we feel rejected and then we think there's something wrong with us. Or we're not good enough, or we're too much, or we're bad, or or anything that keeps us in that that feeling less than. So the key is to don't take it personally if you are rejected. But if there is pain that comes up, definitely feel it, because feeling it will help heal it and release it, so then it doesn't happen as often. But it's a normal thing. It's just a very normal thing for everyone to have times in their lives when they feel rejected, and times in their lives when they feel like they're not good enough. So just to know that is a pervasive pattern in all of mass consciousness and in humanity, and we've come in together to heal that. It's better than where we've come from in the past, where we were much more warring and fighting. At least now it could just be like gossiping, or I don't like the way you look, or something like that. Or I don't like what you said, or we don't like you. I mean, well, they're as long as they're not killing us anymore, right? It's better. I mean, at least it's better. So it may be something that we're dealing with for millennia, for an eon or something, until we all grow through that place where we don't need to reject each other. We can set healthy boundaries, but still keep our hearts open. We can learn to love ourselves through any difficult situation, rather than reject ourselves. And then on another level, just to know that when most people are rejecting you, it's because they're judging you, and most people are judging when they're in fear themselves. It's their own issues that usually, almost always, has nothing at all to do with you. When someone else is judging you, it's never your fault. Unless you're a criminal and you're being, thrown before the judge and it's time to go to jail because, but that's not you guys. That's not us. So just to know, when someone's judging you, it's not your fault. It has nothing to do with you. It's all about them. So you don't have to defend against it. And you can open up to that, circle of friends that will be, mostly perfect. There's no such thing as perfect. You're always going to have something that can be, not happy to experience in the heart realm. It's just life, and that's because we are such imperfect humans, and that's okay. We can love each other through it. We don't have to be perfect with each other, but we darn well need to communicate with each other, and we darn well need to do our best to make amends and become responsible, for our own whatever's going on within ourselves, so that we don't put it on to someone else. So I think that's it. I think the major message here has just been about not rejecting yourself, and to open up to more love and bliss and joy in relationships, and that you don't have to work so darn hard, and definitely have time to play. Give yourself time to play. Okay, well that's it. I'll be back later for Fridays. Okay, you guys, take good care. Bye.